All right, today we're diving into something truly incredible. It's a blueprint for the future, and it's unfolding right now in a really remote part of Uganda. This is the story of Project Umoja Kaabong, and it's all about building a totally self-sufficient, high-tech economy, basically from scratch. So, yeah, that's the big question, right? How on earth do you do that? And look, we're not just talking about putting up a few cell towers. We're talking about generating your own power, creating your own connectivity, and building a genuine global economic engine in a place that had almost none of that before. You know, it always starts with a vision, something like this. Taking this raw, beautiful landscape and imagining it with this digital and industrial nervous system layered right on top. It's about creating opportunity while being sustainable. So how do you actually pull it off? Well, the answer is this brand new model for development they're calling the sovereign stack. And the approach is, honestly, it's as logical as it is revolutionary. Okay, think of it like building a house. You can't put up the walls before you pour the foundation, right? It's the same idea here. The foundation is energy. On top of that, you layer connectivity. Then you add intelligence, and finally, the whole economy sits right on top. But here's the absolute key. The whole thing is designed to be self-sufficient and locally owned and operated. And you should know, this is not just some idea on a whiteboard. There is a committed $30 million in initial investment to get this first campus in Kaabong off the ground. That's a serious commitment. So let's dig into that foundation, the energy layer. I mean, in a region where the grid is unreliable at best, you've got to make your own power. And the way they're doing it, it's pure genius. And it starts right out in the fields. Okay, check this out. It is a completely closed-loop system. They're going to grow industrial hemp on about 7,000 acres. The stalks get harvested and fed into this super advanced plasma gasification unit. And that thing generates a massive 11 megawatts of reliable power. But the coolest part, for me, is the last step. The leftover biochar, the byproduct, it goes straight back into the soil, making it even more fertile for the next crop. It's a perfect sustainable circle. And this right here, this just perfectly captures the whole idea. You've got this traditional, sustainable farming on one side, and it is directly fueling some of the most advanced energy technology on the planet on the other. It's this incredible blend of old-school wisdom and new-school tech. And this isn't just wishful thinking. The science absolutely backs it up. Independent research confirmed it. A strategic report dug into the lower heating value, which is basically just a fancy way of saying how much energy you can get out of it, and confirmed that hemp is, and I'm quoting here, an excellent fuel source for exactly this kind of power generation. Okay, so once you have that rock-solid foundation of your own power, now you can build the really fun stuff on top, the digital nervous system. That's the connectivity and the intelligence layers. And trust me, they are not messing around. They are building a world-class supercomputer, the UCC-1. Just look at these specs: 1,000 top-of-the-line GPUs, 10 petabytes of ridiculously fast storage, all wired together with a 400 gigabit network. This is the kind of firepower you'd expect to see in Silicon Valley, and they're building it in rural Uganda. It's incredible. So you might be asking, why build such a monster of a computer out here? Well, because it's the economic engine. This thing isn't just for local number crunching. It's designed to plug into a global DPIN, that's a decentralized physical infrastructure network. You can think of it like an Airbnb for computing power. It's going to sell its AI and compute capacity to anyone in the world who needs it, generating a constant stream of revenue right back into the park.
Now, this whole idea of building a stack to create value from resources nobody was really looking at, it's not just happening in Uganda. It's a really powerful trend popping up all over the world. And to really get it, let's look at another example where this exact same thinking is being used not for crops on the surface, but for resources deep underground.
At the end of the day, that's what this is really all about. It's this data-driven, layered approach to revealing hidden value. It's using technology to see potential that was completely invisible before, whether that's in a farm's leftover stocks or in the very ground beneath our feet. And yeah, it's definitely not just happening on the surface. Over in Morocco, the National Mining Office is using a very similar stack approach, but instead of building up, they're looking down, mapping valuable resources hidden deep underground. So what they do is they deploy this whole tech stack for discovery. It starts with drones flying these huge grid patterns with magnetic sensors. Then, crews on the ground come in with other advanced tools, and all of that data from all those different layers gets fed into some seriously powerful software. And the result is, well, it's breathtaking. That stack of technology transforms all that raw data into these incredible 3D maps of magnetic anomalies. You see those bright red and yellow spots? Those are potential mineral deposits, buried hundreds of meters down. It literally turns a barren landscape into a treasure map.
Okay, let's bring it all back to Kaabong and see how their sovereign stack unlocks that final and maybe most important layer, a whole new economy.
So if you look at how that initial $30 million is being spent, it tells you the whole story. The vast majority of it, 2/3, goes right into the core tech, the power plant and the processing facilities. This isn't about speculation. It's about building real hard assets.
And those assets create this incredibly diverse and resilient web of revenue streams. I mean, they'll be exporting hemp products, selling electricity like a local utility, selling that compute time on the global market. They'll even provide local internet services and are planning for autonomous vehicles down the road. Every single layer of the stack generates its own income.
The transformation we're talking about here is just profound. You go from a remote, energy-poor region to a sovereign, energy-rich industrial park. You go from subsistence farming to being a global exporter of tech and commodities. And most important of all, you go from a lack of opportunity to creating up to 2,500 local jobs.
Which leaves us with one final and pretty powerful question. This was never just about Uganda. This is a blueprint. And if a completely self-sufficient, sovereign digital economy can be built from the ground up in one of the most remote places on Earth, just imagine where else this model could be deployed to change everything.